Episode 34 of the Interpretation Station is Call to Order. Welcome, everybody. We're back to another Wham Bam, Thank You, Roland episode. This time today for our viewers. Well, it's going to be a Spanish episode. I'm going to be looking at a text that I put up on the LinkedIn group maybe a couple of weeks ago. From Spanish into English. It was by actually the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, and she was discussing the situation in Venezuela. I'll give you the date. It was actually the 26th of February. I think it was just when the Human Rights Council session was getting going. So it's an interesting. There's some good, interesting vocabulary in this one. Just before we start, see this episode, right? Michelle Bachelet, High Commissioner, she's from Chile, all right? This episode is dedicated to the, pretty much what I'm going to call the Chilean fan club of the Interpretation Station, especially to one gentleman, Mr. Jose Bahamonde Cano. Yes, Jose, to you. I'm going to dedicate this episode to you. This guy, he spread the word to a whole bunch of his friends on a group about last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, and he got me like 40 new subscribers overnight. I went to bed on the Friday night with, I don't know, 380 or something, or 360, and I woke up the next morning, I had 401. I don't know what the man did, but he's got the magic touch. So Jose, this one's for you, okay? All right. Take a look at the screen now. The statement's going to be coming up for you there, and I'll take you through my notes that I put up for you there. Okay, so we start up here. Nice, easy start. It's about Venezuela, so can be a bit sensitive given the situation there. Okay, cooperación permanente. Okay, so we always say in the UN we'll talk ongoing cooperation as opposed to permanent cooperation, ongoing. And then here, mecanismos de derechos humanos. These, I'll give you the 1, 2, 3 human rights mechanisms. Now, as I often do, this was one page of the statement that was maybe about as long. It was like 15, maybe 9, 10 pages long, let's say. It was delivered pretty quickly, and it was delivered via RSI. So you were really there were times when it was tough to keep up. So whenever I hear Presidenta, Excelencias, it always gives you that chance. If you're struggling, just to drop it and then wait for the rest of the statement to continue. Okay, esta actualización. Just an update is the best word for that. Okay, now this is interesting. Say the full name if you can. Okay, República Bolivariana de Venezuela. Usually, 99% of the time, with the full names of countries, you can just skip. You can just shorten them. You never have to say the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland or the United States of America. You just say the UK, the US, so on. There are a couple of countries though where it's not a bad idea to try and get the full name, and Venezuela is definitely one of them. That if you can get in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, I would advise you to try and do it. If someone's monitoring, I think they'll look favorably upon you if you can get that full name out. That Bolivarian bit is very important to them. I've said that before, actually, in a previous tutorial that I did on Venezuela, which I think I'm going to link up there too. I give you a fuller explanation. But yeah, with the Venezuelans, try and get the full name out. It's not 100% necessary, but if you can, try and get it out. Okay, so then down here, what do we have here? Okay, the joint plan of work, just giving you the word. These things, it tends to be more a plan of work than a work plan. Reforzando la asistencia técnica. So here I put step up technical assistance. You can see maybe my team continues to intensify. Okay, enhance. Okay, now this is a tough technical term here, detención preventiva. So at the UN, the term we always use is pre-trial detention. Now, perhaps in other organizations, maybe the different terminology is used, but at my work, it's always pre-trial detention. It's an important concept that comes up a lot. Okay, another important term, this one here, Defensoría del Pueblo, the ombudsman, the ombudsperson, if you prefer, That's again, it's not a defender of the people. Though. You need to get that ombud bit out. All right. Capacitaciones. Okay, we say training sessions, or I think maybe even better than training sessions, certainly quicker again. Workshops is a very quick solution to that. All right, then we skip down here, this paragraph here. So here, where it says a las autoridades, I say you could drop this and not break up the flow of the sentence if you were falling behind. Okay, so again, I'm looking here from the point of view, this was this speech was delivered quickly. So here you could say just in October, my team proposed a protocol for monitoring, okay? I mean, I think, again, in the context of what you're hearing, everyone knows who that would have been proposed to, namely to the authorities. So again, you've got to think on your feet doing this kind of thing when it's quick and it's bad sound. You've got to know what you can leave out. And in this case, given the context, you could leave out the authorities. Audiencias judiciales, okay, hearings is a very important word. Again, this is quite a bit of court terminology, all right? Legal, a lot of judicial terminology, so these are called, hearings. Okay, then a classic sort of set phrase here. Intercambio de información. So again, I do like knowledge sharing. I'm a big fan of going for knowledge sharing, or if you prefer, exchange of information, which is closer to the original, literally. These things all come in packages, knowledge sharing, okay, or exchange of information. Best practice often accompanies knowledge sharing. Okay, aliento a profundizar este intercambio. So a good word for profundizar, rather than to deepen this exchange, like that be very literal, to enhance. When I hear profundizar, I tend to go with to enhance this exchange. And then here, con respuestas sustantivas y oportunas. Again, given the speed, you got these two adjectives here for respuesta. I think it would be perfectly legitimate. Just one would be enough, I think, here, okay? So either substantive or timely. And resoluciones adecuadas, I think you want to go with solutions as opposed to resolutions. In English, when we talk about resolution, it tends to be a specific, Security Council resolution with a number, but I think this is a bit more general. So here I think we'd want to just say solutions. Okay, and then some more slightly technical vocabulary coming up here. La decisión de conceder el arresto domiciliario a Juan Blanchard. So I think in this, arresto domiciliario is definitely house arrest. And the word, and so for conceder, I think in this context, it's to grant. So I don't know the background of this case, but I suspect perhaps he was in danger of being put into a big high security prison, and the authorities were like, okay, that's okay, we won't do that. We'll let him have house arrest. Is that in so much as like house arrest is a sort of more lenient form of arrest, so they granted him house arrest. I mean, often in English we'll say, well, he was sentenced to house arrest, I think. But yeah, so generally for conceder, though, I think grant is the sort of good, the go-to solution you want there. Okay, también tomo nota de la liberación. So, okay, the release we want here, as opposed to the liberation. I think we liberate countries, don't we, in conflicts, but with prisoners, it's more release. Okay, in this case, it's the liberación de dos militares. Sometimes militares is one that can sort of not confuse you, but in English, what do we say? I think we'd say soldiers, to release two soldiers, or are they officials, two military officials? Probably two soldiers. Okay. Que habían cumplido su condena. Okay, this is again important terminology. You need to get the right solution, in English. So who'd served their sentence. Okay, it's important, those little collocations that you know them. Serve your sentence. Liberación condicional. I think that's basically, that's parole, isn't it? That when you get released early, before your sentence is finished, but on condition, that you behave yourself. So that would be parole. And again here, absolución de un periodista, the acquittal of a journalist. So that little paragraph, a lot of important stuff in there that's good to remember. Granting house arrest, releasing prisoners, okay, releasing soldiers, serving a sentence, parole. If you take nothing away from the rest of this show, just try and remember what the words you get in this paragraph here. Okay, and then to the final paragraph, proporcionar a algunos detenidos. Okay, so detenidos, I tend to go, detainees is an easy one because it's a bit of a calque, isn't it? It's very similar to the original Spanish. A very good one is inmates, though, when you're talking, when you're talking generally about prison, the inmates sort of tends to cover all class categories of prisoners, from those who are in their serving full sentences, or those who are just there maybe waiting to go on trial. So inmates covers all of them. Y a compartir oportunamente. So I think here in English we would want to share. Well, again, here I've actually bracketed oportunamente. I think under the circumstances, you could probably skip this. Doesn't add that much substance to the statement. But a good word again for oportunamente is promptly. It's a good one to know. And then finally, lugares de detención. I've given you a few alternatives here. Place of detention. Okay, place of detention is a very literal one. Lugar de detención. I think more likely though, in English we tend to talk about detention centers or detention facilities. But yeah, really any one of those three would do the trick. Okay, so that's it. Wham bam. Thank you, Roland. If you found that episode helpful, please smash the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, please do consider doing so. You got the notification bell there if you want to know every time a new Interpretation Station episode comes out. And that's pretty much all for today. Keep following me on the LinkedIn. You do know I forgot to mention this in the last Wham Bam Thank You, Roland episode, but we've got the Italian now. We have a new collaborator working with us, Miss Sara Molinari. She is a translator interpreter from Spanish and English into Italian. So all you guys there who have Italian in your combination, I know there are a lot of you actually, follow her, all right? So she's going to be regularly putting stuff out on the LinkedIn, and you never know, I might even persuade her to do a video sometime. Fingers crossed. Okay, pleasure as ever. Again, Jose, thank you very much. This one's for you. Nothing more to say but that episode 34 of the Interpretation Station is adjourned.
The train is now leaving the Interpretation Station. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Until next time, folks.